It's all how you present yourself, how folks look at you. People see you positive, what are they going to be?
Positive.
They see you worried, what are they going to do?
Worried.
They're like, you're worried, I need to be worried. Now, I tell a lot of my sellers, you were talking about listings today. The thing about listings is this, the two biggest hurdles are what? The appraisal and the home inspection, am I right? I think right now we're getting offers pretty easy. The problem right now is going to be what? Getting the appraisal back, getting the home inspection back. So that's going to be your two big hurdles. But I'm not going to go into the hurdles right now. What I'm going to go into is listings. Why? There's an old saying in real estate, you have listings to last, and that's true. It's almost like a savings account. You know what a savings account is? It's something that's there but you can't touch, right? But you know it's going to give you some value later. That's what listings are. And the more you have, guess what? It's the more you're going to have for later, like a savings account for later. So what I want to do today is kind of get back into the basics. We got a lot of new agents here that want to know how to get listings. Getting listings and what we're going to do now are two different things. But I'm going to kind of go into it. Getting listings, I think the most important part of how I get listings is what? My referral network, okay? People you know. You want everybody, again, you know you do what? Sell real estate. If they're about selling their home, who are they going to call? You. Eddie, where's most of your business come from, honestly? Got a mouthful of food. Referrals. And that's exactly right. And again, if you're new to the business, it's hard to get referrals in. So what do you got to do? You got to farm a little bit, okay? And that's something that I used to do in a different way. I used to farm by doing what? Open houses. James Tolbert, myself, and Tanya, my dad owned the company back in the 80s, we did open houses almost every day. Remember that, Eddie? Every day. Same, Eddie's here did it too. Every day. Because why? How do you meet the people? MTP. How do you meet the people? Or MTB, meet the buyers. How do you meet them? Out there.
Yeah.
And it's even worse nowadays, they have internet. You got to realize, folks, the value of an agent or a realtor now is greatly declined in the eyes of a seller or a buyer. Why? Do they really need your information now? We used to be the gatekeeper of all the information in real estate. Before, we had MLS books in the system. Nobody could go online and find out. They want to see about a neighborhood, they had to do what? Call the realtor or call the agent. What's the difference between a realtor and an agent? What's the difference? Anybody know the difference?
The realtors are
Anywhere.
Basically, a realtor belongs to an organization, which says you're held at a higher level and you do a better job. That's what it's supposed to mean, okay? And of course, you have to pay money for that. You have MLS access. If you're not a realtor, you can't have MLS access. So what do you got to lean on? Zillow, right? And a lot of folks don't realize that when I get buyers call from other market or our market, most of them are going on websites like Zillow or going on different websites they see online, and they're calling us. And when they get the information there, I think they know the value of the home, don't they? Or the seller calling Melissa's house, they think they know the value of the home. Well, Zillow says my house is worth $250,000, and you know your mind ain't sold for a damn penny over $190. So you're like, whoa. Chuck had 2 listings this past week we're working on for him, and he had some tough sellers, some really tough sellers. These people had overbuilt for the neighborhood. You know what that means? That means you basically, you're above the norm for that subdivision. And when we're going to talk about doing a market analysis today, the appraisers look at what's normal for the subdivision.
right.
When they do valuations, and that's another thing too about this good agents is what you get value for. You have selling features and you have value features. Selling features help the house what? Sell. Makes you stand out above the crowd, right? Value features give you what? Value. Helps you get your price boosted up. So when an appraiser goes in a house and you get 2 kitchens, one kitchen's got little slide-out pull drawers for your spice rack, and it got lights that come on automatically. You open the pantry door. Is that a value feature or a selling feature? Probably selling feature, right? Because that appraiser's going to tell you one thing: he don't go in every house and pull drawers out of the kitchen. He's looking at pictures of other homes that are sold on the market. Now, it's a good listing agent when you get your pictures taken, and I advise now on a nice home, especially, get professional pictures taken. It's worth the value of it. But with some of your nicer phones, you can do them yourself. But make sure you take pictures that have value. I'm going to show you an example of one in a minute that somebody took in the real office, and I jumped on their butt yesterday. First picture on the front was of a bedroom. If someone's online looking at a house, they want to see a bedroom on the front of a house no, I want to see a house picture. But you probably see it too. So the agent gets sneaky and want to throw a new shot on the very first picture of a brand new kitchen in the house.
Yes.
Well, MLS says what? You got to have what? Front and back. You can get fined $100. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to see $100 bill in my pocket. I only got one in there anyway. So. But what we're going to do is learn about value features and selling features this morning as well. Pools. Pools are another big thing. Pools cost at a minimum $28,000 to $45,000. But when you get a house on an appraisal, you're going to get between what, Eddie? Probably 7 to 9 probably, max? That's on the high end. Now, and if you're the only pool in the neighborhood, the appraiser's going to say, look, a pool's a pool. It's basically a hole in the ground. If you don't maintain, how many of y'all have seen homes that the pool need to be covered up because they didn't take care of it?
My new neighbors.
You know? Yeah?
They just put a pool in it, it's all jacked up.
You know, people gotta take care of it. That's like landscaping. I get homeowners come out and say, I got over $20,000 in my yard here. But guess what? Next guy buys is not a yard person. It might not be a nice yard, will it? That Japanese crepe myrtle for $800 might be dead. And that's why banks are protecting who? Who's the bank protecting? The buyer or the seller or the bank themselves? Right? They're taking care of themselves. What the bank is doing is they're telling that appraiser, look, when you do this evaluation for us, we want to know if we get this house back, what we can sell it for, what the true value is, okay? And of course, as a homeowner, they have their heart in it. Chuck had a hard one the other day. We're out there in the rain, huh, Chuck?
Oh, yeah.
What we do in his house for them. They're from Cary and Raleigh. And they both work in different areas. They had to come together in one place to meet at the house, different places to meet him. But these folks were tough, very tough sellers. And long story short, this guy had put so many upgrades in his house, it's amazing. The pool has a stamped concrete. He built a workshop in the backyard. It's nicer than most people's houses. It's all done to code. Very nice home. Now, I think we got some pictures that we'll show you during the meeting here real quick. I wasn't using his as an example, but he does his homework at home, so yeah, I don't know what we'll use. But doing an evaluation can be tough sometimes. A lot of us don't realize, like his clients, they'll say, well, you can pull comps from anywhere, can't you? No. If you have comps in your subdivision, you have to at least have 2 comps from your subdivision to utilize for your analysis. Then you can go outside and pull one from outside, as long as you're in the same school district, that type of thing. You can't take a Jack brick house compared to a home over in Pine Forest, can you? Because people buy for different reasons. I don't know about you guys, but most of my buyers are buying for what right now? Schools. People worry about education. A lot of us can't afford private schools. What you do is, instead of paying for private school, buy a better subdivision. That way you get more value for your money. But they're wrong private schools, but I'm saying, but if you're smart, get in a good school district area. Okay? What we're going to do is I'm going to jump on the bandwagon now, and we're going to start from scratch. What I'm going to do is this. I got an analysis I already did for someone else. I'm going to show how I do it. Okay? A lot of folks utilize the MLS system to do their market analysis. The fancy one y'all see online where it pulls up all the comments, all the pictures. That's confusing for an agent, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why do you want to get that to your buyer? Am I right? It's very confusing. The one that the MLS does, it's like, what the hell? You think it's rocket science, I understand that thing. What I'm going to do today is show you how to do a market analysis that will knock anybody's socks off and they're not going to go nowhere else. What you got to do is the old KISS principle, not the ones that make up in the rock band, but KISS principle, K-I-S-S, keep it simple, stupid. Because people are what? They don't know. They're relying on you to be the person that comes out to their house. And you got to relay, again, confidence. You got to make sure you relay that you're the best person for them. And you have the best what? Tools. Do you have the best tools?
We do.
I think we do. When this couple here that we met with Chuck, I went out and talked to him also with Chuck. We told him, hey, look, we got signs that work 24 hours a day. They're like, huh? Yeah, our signs glow in the dark. There's lights in them. They're like, really?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're planting seeds in the rain, aren't you? So also, I told them about the text writer signs. Why? Somebody pulls it in front of your house. What are they going to do? They're going to look at that and want to see it. And they'll be able to see a picture home from the front yard. And what does that do? When they do that, you know, you can call them and say, hey, I see you in front of my house. Do you want to see the inside? 50% are going to say, what? Hey, I'm here. Why not? Can you real quick? Yeah. If you can't, what are you going to do? Call your buddy in the office, right? Everybody has a buddy system in our office?
Yeah.
Everybody has a buddy in here? Who's your buddy, Sharon? Who helps
I
you
have
out?
no clue.
Who do you want to be your buddy? Who do you like? You didn't have a buddy. That's why I saw the stars in your eyes going, what is buddy? You're kind of new. Our buddy is someone you can count on in this office, maybe 2 people, you can count on. That's going to be the person that you're going to send your clients to when you can't be there, or new customer. Because why? Would you rather lose a customer or still get a 20% or 25% referral fee? I want some money in my pocket. If I can't be there, I'm going to have somebody who can be. Hey, you ain't got to call him your assistant. You can call my partner. You know, my other partner will often meet you right there. Boom, what's your name and number? Call that person. They can't do it, call the next person who's your partner. They'll do it this way. But someone will be there. They don't care, do they? They want to see the house.
Yeah.
But make sure you have a partner that relays the same type of business that you have. Make sure that the person that you utilize, that will, like Dee Dee, for example, or Eddie, or anybody's office, they would actually, Sharon, whoever, will actually do what? Be a part of you. So when they go out there, you know they're going to get the best customer service. That's all you got to give folks nowadays, customer service. Anybody can show a house. A handicapped person, whatever, blind. Hey, I'll open the door for you and then show them the house. But they want somebody's going to do what? Be there to show them the home and know what the house is about. Know your inventory. So when you're walking through a home, I showed some funny videos last time. Remember about the people showing houses that know about them? The guy walking through there from England that was pointing out stuff in the kitchen. Oh, this is a cabinet. Yeah, everybody does that. Show things that are of value. You know, this is the refrigerator. Oh yeah, my refrigerator is old one. You know. The main thing is to know things about the home before you even go out there. Call Felicity and say, well, by the way, I'm showing your house. Is there anything we're going to do to it? Or y'all put new carpet in it? Because I have agents all the time show properties. Other agents of our company will show a house. I'll get a feedback response. Bob and I like to color the bedroom or the carpet. What should that agent have done while they were there? Probably call while I'm there. They're looking at it, they mention it. I'm going to call this agent. By the way, my clients don't have the carpet. All right, cool. By the way, I talked to this agent, they'll change the carpet out. Oh, really? Because that way it's not off their checklist no more. People will knock things off their list really quick for something stupid. But they know you're putting the carpet in there and it's out of their mind now.
Right.
So why are you showing a home if it's not your listing or someone else's, and if your clients mention something that they don't like, call the other agent while you're in the house. Be proactive. Most folks are reactive in life. That's why they don't succeed in life. You got to be proactive instead of reactive in this business, okay? So that way you're always the best, because you are. Matter of fact, I'm so proud of this, getting goosebumps this morning. We are now number 5 in Fayetteville. There's only 4 companies ahead of us, and they're all big construction guys, and one of them's doing this right now, and that's ERA. They're coming down pretty hard, so congratulations. And we got only 20% of the agents they have in their office. So how would that talk about you guys? That's amazing. And by doing these listening classes, and by Tom doing what he's doing, trying to teach you how to get listings for those who want to do the, I call farming, you're going to be able to get more business for yourself. But going back to this, okay, let's say we get a phone call, and somebody says, hey, I want to sell my house. First thing I'm going to do on a phone call is say, hey, Jay Downey, how you doing? I'm doing great. I want to sell my house, so instead of call you. Well, where's your home at? How many of y'all keep a notepad all the time beside you? That needs to be your best friend. Write everything down, because I don't care how old or how young you are, you're going to forget stuff because you get busy, especially in real estate, because the day changes so quickly. Like me, this morning I had an hour and a half to myself. Buyer comes in, want to write a contract on foreclosure this morning. What's that do? You going to tell them no, I can't talk to you? Nope, you got to do what? Make time real quick. So your schedule's constantly changing. But if you write something down, you're not going to forget what you have to do. And you get busy like Eddie, and it's crazy because you got to know what you're doing at all times. And Didi, you're the same way. Notes, pads. And the next morning, or the next day, so you'll get like 5 or 6 pages of junk on them. Carry over the next day what you haven't done yet and line through what you've done. Notepads will save your life, okay? And keep your reputation good. Because folks hate, it happens to me, we all forget things. They call you, as soon as the number is screen, oh shit. You don't even want to answer the phone, do you? Oh shit. You like it, yeah? Oh shit moments. You're like, oh, I did call back last night. Hey, Jay Downey, how you doing? Trying to call them so you kind of interact with them. They're pissed off, right? So you interact with them. But what are they going to do? They're going to be happy back. You know, even though they might have been pissed off. Hey, I didn't call you last night. I'm sorry. I was here last night till 11 o'clock, blah, 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 blah. You know, my leg fell off. Whatever. But people appreciate when you're honest. You know, hey, I forgot. I'm sorry. But I'm here right now. What can I do for you? Boom. Here's the information you wanted. Be proactive. And like I said, if you can't do it, find someone to help you. My dad had an old saying. I always tell my dad has been gone for about 8, 9 years now. He always had a saying, you can't eat an elephant by yourself. Because if you do, the meat will spoil. You're going to lose more than you get. So have a buddy system. If you don't have one, give me after the meeting. We'll find you one. The main thing is to have somebody to help you because you can't do it all by yourself. It's impossible. Okay, so someone calls me up. Hey, I want to sell my house. First thing I'm doing on my notepad is write down, where's your home located? Okay, gotcha. Who referred you? Write it down. Write all the things you can down on that notepad while you're talking to them. And what you're doing is you're fishing. You can lead a conversation the way you want. Most folks in this business don't lead a conversation. Let them lead a conversation. That's why I talk fast sometimes. I lead the conversation. Because what happens is you get the information you want, but yet you're listening to them. Oh, where's your home located? Okay, great. Is the house occupied or vacant? These are questions right now. Is the house occupied or vacant? Why do you want to know that? Is it easier to sell an occupied house or a vacant house for yourself?
Vacant.
So that leads to your next conversation letter with them. Okay, is the house occupied or vacant? Okay, great, awesome. How long you owned it? Do you live there now? Or is it a rental? Okay, great, awesome. How long do you own the home? Okay, what's your loan? Do you have a loan on the house? I'm asking all these questions while I'm on the phone with them. What I'm doing is now I'm building my picture in my mind of what I got to do next. You follow me? And then of course I ask them the property address. And of course I'm very fortunate that there's a long time I can tell by the address where it's at probably. I'm like a taxi driver. I can tell almost any street in town where the neighborhood is. But write down the address where the property is located. And then say, well, how fast do you want to list it? Because a lot of times time is important to a lot of folks, isn't it? Normally when I get a phone call, list a house, they're going to do it pretty quick. Most folks want it now. So if you want it now, are you going to put them off till next week?
No.
I've heard agents say shit like, well, I'm busy this week, or I'm busy the next 3 days. How about tomorrow? Let me tell you something. Most folks want it within 48 hours, I found. You see the way, Eddie? They want it pretty quick. And the faster you jump on it, the faster they're going to be on it. Because guess what? You're not the only agent in town, guys. They're calling other folks too a lot of times. Okay? So, yes, sir.
And I know sometimes I get really, really busy, and it's something where I can't get there for a couple of days, but if you can give them at least something of value in the meantime, that holds them over.
Yep. And that's why during this conversation on the phone, you also ask for their email address. And what you say is, great, you know what, not a problem at all. I'm actually on the computer right now. Are you in front of a computer? No, well, I'll tell you what, while we're talking, let me go on right now. I've already asked for their name, didn't I? Already an address. So while I'm talking to them, I emailed them the current actives in their subdivision, like Eddie said, some of that. While you're talking to them on the phone. I'm also going to do what? They know the current pendings in the neighborhood, correct? And then also what's closed in the last 12 months. So what I've done is I gave them some value on the phone while I'm with them, or immediately after I'm on the phone with them, depends on the conversation, how it's going. Most folks, they want to talk, so they called you, correct? So they're already getting this information. So once you hang this phone up with them and you're done with that part of the conversation, you've got everything you need to know to do what? Do a quick analysis in your mind and do a quick community market analysis. And you've also gave them something of value, like Eddie said. They already got your information in the computer. Because most agents are what? They're reactive instead of proactive. So by sending the information to the advance already, you show them, one, you're on top of your game, right? But you already sent them the comps and actions for the neighborhood. What do folks want to know? They want to know what homes are selling for in the neighborhood. Am I correct? Most folks out there are funny because they think the neighbors all bullshit each other. They'll say, well, man, I got $150 in my house. But we all know we're going to less $135. Well, Joe said he got $150 for his house. Well, let me tell you, I got the MLS stats right here, and I got the deed where it came up. He sold for $135. Man, he messed the comps up. Man, I'm gonna call him. But the whole thing is, you are the truth gatherer of information. And again, your competition is going to be Zillow, because what's happening is Zillow. And I would tell folks, you never want to be negative about Zillow, because consumers love it, right? If you love a favorite pizza place, and someone else they don't like it, it's kind of offends you a little bit. It does, don't it? So if you tell somebody, oh, Zillow sucks, they don't have the right values, what are they going to think? That you suck, you're a mean person. You talk bad about Zillow. They like Zillow. So I always say, look, you know, Zillow is a great tool. It really is. They have the great information out there. But a lot of times in our market, in Fayetteville, it don't work. Because what happens is Zillow normally takes a map and puts a circle around it, and they take all the sales in that round geographical area. Well, in Fayetteville, we're a very unplanned city. So we have a lot of neighbors that grew up beside each other that have no relationship and values. You got trailer parks next to nice neighbors. Kings Ranch, for example. You got the trailer park right outside the gate. You got other older homes there. Jack Britt, the same way. You got older subdivisions like Meadowbrook right next door to Gates 4. So what happens is Zillow isn't correct in those markets. But what I'll do for you is I'll do exact detailed analysis. I'm going to send you everything that's sold in that neighborhood and that school district. What is that doing? You're not saying it's bad, you're just saying it doesn't work in our market. Isn't that different than saying that? I hear agents all the time. I've heard agents before. At conventions, everything, telling people on the phone, oh, Zillow sucks. That's not right. They don't know what they're talking about. Remember, people don't like negativity. People like what? Positivity. So it's not what you say, it's what? How you say. Exactly right. So let's say the phone rang, we got an address. I'm going to take one to Mayor's Landing, for example, that I had gotten a while back. And this house was actually on the water. The first thing I do when I do a listing, I'm talking to somebody on the phone, I'm going to pull the phone. Best I give you is what? In the morning though, right? Yep. In the afternoon I'm running hard. But I'm always available for you, make an appointment time, like Chuck, we did at 10 o'clock on Saturday. You know, at night, not midnight. We don't mind doing this. You know, when you need it fast. So main thing to do is have your stuff ready, have it in a nice, easy to understand format to make it simple for your clients. So now, we went over the market analysis, how to do one. Everybody understand the concept of market analysis, what to do now? Yeah. Now, we're going to go into the listing portion of it, okay? Again, it's all about confidence. Make sure you exude confidence. On the tools, I apologize, but let me get a tool fast to show you. Okay, COP, get one with you. When you go out and listen for me, take that with you. Because when you go in the kitchen and have your stuff with you, the more you got, the more it makes it look like you're what? The snizzle and nizzle, right? Remember that, okay? Now, you're going to take, by the way, on our signs, you put a little text writer sign on here. You got the kitchen table now. And what happens is somebody pulls in front of your home, they want to see the inside of the house. Guess what? They just text that right on their phone, and they'll see pictures of your house on their phone. Isn't that neat? Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So they're all Also, we're the only company in town that will put your home also in the preview magazine you're listening. So your listening will be in here. And they also get to see your pretty face in here. And I guarantee you, there's 1,700 agents in Fayetteville. I did it for a reason, guys. This gives you an edge of your competition. Utilize it. If you go out to a listing appointment, you're trying to make your competition look what? Not as good as you. Right. If they see that you're marketing homes and you leave the magazine, you always leave the magazine there for them. Why? They're going to look at it. They're going to say, well, hey, we call you in here. Oh, I want to be in this magazine. It's a what? It's a way to get your foot in the door and make you look better than your competition. Okay? And I noticed the books get a little thicker again. People are trying to emulate us. Let me tell you something. I get phone calls all the time who want to work with me. At real estate school, they see us. I get probably 10 calls who want to work here. I'm very picky who I hire, guys. I don't want to be like Call Banker in the area we have hundreds of agents. I'd rather keep it small and powerful. We'll do a better job. We don't mind having quality agents. That's good. We want to have what? Not quantity, but what? Quality. Okay. So, but when you go to your listing appointment, take it with you, give it to them, because it's gonna do what? It's gonna show value in yourself. And, a lot of times I'll play a little game with them too. I'll be like, are you interviewing other agents? What's their name? Are they in the book? They was gonna tell you the name. And I don't know what's in the book. And that's yeah. And nobody don't want to tell you, but he wants to see they're in the book. They'll tell you. So it's more like, you get them off guard, aren't you?
Right.
It's all about what? The mental part of it. Boy, there's so much not good agents still, though. Not in the book, though. Also, don't forget to leave what? Leave your business card. Okay. And guess what? You want to make sure they can call you back. Sometimes we get excited if we get my business card, you know? So make sure you your card, the magazine. Take the writer sign back with you, though, okay? Then they call somebody to give back. But again, you want to make sure that tell them what's good about your company. You know, I always mention Warren Buffett. You know, I always tell them, look, we're a family business. We were actually an independent company, but we bought a Prudential franchise. Warren Buffett wanted to get into real estate, the most man in America. He bought Prudential, and now we're already in the top 4 companies in the United States in less than 2 years. And it's all because of what? He's really into marketing. He's into also technology, which is very important. Everybody wants to embrace technology. So anyways, you got the market analysis done. You're at the kitchen table. Now it's time to win it. Let's say you win the listing. Now you got to do the listing agreement, right? Make sure when you do the listing agreement, you do a couple things to protect yourselves. Make sure you always ask for a copy of the current mortgage statement. Why do you want to do that, guys? Make sure they're not behind in the mortgage. It happens all the time. Just to have one related and tell me, lie about it. And on the listing agreement it says, are you currently in arrears? Are you currently in bankruptcy? It asks those questions, but guess what? People do what sometimes? They're embarrassed.
Yeah, don't say that.
I gotta do a lie, they might be lying.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they're embarrassed to say something. They want to get a house sold, they're desperate.
Right.
People do desperate things when they're desperate. But when they give you that mortgage statement, what have you done?
Hey.
You know. Okay? And so these notices that you're behind a couple payments, by the way, I know you're behind a couple payments, well, we got them caught up. Are you sure? Okay, no problem. But anyways, make sure you ask for a copy of that mortgage statement. You're gonna need it later also to order payoff when you sell the home. And that's what I always say. I don't say, well, I need to see if you're current on your mortgage statement. That's how a lot of new agents do, you know. But you say, by the way, you got a copy of your current mortgage statement. I want to do a net proceeds for you so I can determine how much money you're gonna make profit on your house when you sell it. And then also, when you get that, I'm gonna need that also to order your payoff. You're being positive, right? About order payoff on your home so that we can get the payoff to get the attorney and they can get your money back to you, your equity. So by getting that information, you're helping yourself out and making sure, of course, you have the tools you need to do a proper proceeds estimate. How many of y'all done a proceeds estimate before? How many have done one? You feel confident with one?
Yeah.
Want to do one real quick together?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, let's do one.
No, we've learned something new, right?
Everybody does them just a little bit different.
Yep. Always.
Because the end result is right. I said, everybody does them a little bit different, as long as the end result's right.
Always.
It's like a map.
I'm always got with the attorney comes back and it's like $2,000 more than what I told them.
It's always better to be more than less, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amen.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
Exactly right.
They
We're
love
gonna
you.
do a net proceeds. Now, everybody knows how to use
No.
zip forms, right? Everybody told comfortable with zip
No,
forms?
you can go.
Okay, I just don't want to get in trouble.
There you go.
All right, we're gonna do one from scratch, okay? Let's go to new, go to new,
I didn't know council.
go to new
Yeah,
listing.
it didn't at first. It didn't. They're doing it now.
Test.
Pop under class. Save, it's on the residential home. Save. They used to call it net proceeds, now they call it sellers.
Estimate.
Yeah. Sometimes they change the name, you gotta find that shit's crazy, isn't it? You gotta look through the whole list.
That's why I spend most of my time trying to find something in there.
Mhm.
Like the
of
response
name.
somebody is offered.
Yeah, I always figured that one.
All right, so, put it in here.
Yeah.
There we go. Here we go, guys. Perfecto. We're loading the form. First thing we do, of course, put their names in there. And I always don't make anybody feel odd, so I'll put Mr. and Miss. Smith. And a movie with it. And of course, I'll put the address on there. 111 1250 C Street. And there we go. Sales price. We're going to sell the house for $100,000. And their current mortgage payoff, let's say, is $25,000, right? We got that from the what? The mortgage statement, right?
Amen.
Don't ever listen to what they tell you. Now, when I ask them for their payoff information, I'm going to ask them three more questions. you have a second mortgage? Do you have a what? Home equity line? Or do you have any other loans that use your home as collateral?
Yeah.
Why am I asking those questions? Because it's a lien on the property, you cannot sell your home until you pay those liens off. And a lot of folks don't know that. They'll go out there and put a pool in the yard and not realize that that pool in the yard, you got a loan with ABC Finance, that pool's gotta be paid off when they sell that house. They can't just keep making the payments. I have folks say, well, I'll just make a payment. It don't work that way, it's a lien on your home. They don't know that, remember, they're not educated like you are, so you gotta make sure you explain to them that all these things gotta come out of the loan. So ask the important questions, home equity line, any lien on the property, or second mortgages. Questions, Chuck? Got a question?
No, no, no.
Okay. Good to go. So, in our case, we did ask the question, and they got a little lead. Some of these folks also buy these water filtration systems for like $8,000. That's gotta be paid off. There are liens on those things, believe it or not. Those companies are smart with their money. They got a water company lien to put on there, okay? Let's also make sure that we do our analysis. Are they in the city or county? Is there a what? PWC assessment pending? Now, of course, Oki, when you get your listings, bring them to him, he's gonna make sure you send your proper sheet in there, make sure you check that out, because you know the $5,000 assessment has to be paid at closing.
And there's been quite a few here lately,
Oh, yeah.
that they've been assessed, but they have not been paid.
Now, another question is, do I gotta hook up the city sewer? If I have sewer available? It depends. It's not a yes or no question. The VA appraiser, if you have sewer available in your neighborhood, already put in, and you're on a septic tank, and it's not gonna be a financial burden to the seller, okay? The fee is gonna cost less, there's a percentage that they use.
3%, I think.
3%? They can actually request that you hook up that house to sewer, okay? Now, when that happens, it comes back on the appraisal that you had to have that done. You can go back into a negotiation stage with your buyer. What are most buyers gonna say though? I don't pay nothing, right? So make sure you ask that question when you do your analysis or do your net proceeds, that you find out the assessments for sewer or stuff, things like that. Okay? It's gotta be paid at closing. When in doubt, shout out, ask for help. Okay, so we got an assessment for $5,000. Commission. I had an agent call me the other day. I ain't gonna say no names, Kevin Grulon, but he was asking why. He was asking why I only had 2.5% commission. He actually literally sent me a text. I'll show it to you, saying, "Jay, why are you only paying 2.5% commission on this house?"
What an ass.
My response to it was, "Commissions are always negotiable."
Yeah.
I said, "You really shouldn't be asking this question." However, the reason I did that was they're a friend of mine. I only charge them 5% commission, and I'm paying out half what I'm getting. That's my answer. Because you gotta watch out. There's laws out there that say you can't do what? Just price fixation on commissions. So, and he said, "That's cool, I understand."
I'm worried about that, Jay, because when I do 5% commissions, I take the loss on my end.
I normally do. But
Because
if I got a
I'm
nice
afraid
house
they
on
won't
my,
show.
let me tell you something. Now it will. The market's hot. It's all based on your market. In a
Okay.
bad market,
Okay.
hell no. Agents looking at that. But
In
guess
Raleigh,
what?
it's 2.5.
2.4 in Raleigh.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
2.4,
2.4. I saw one in
Yeah.
Raleigh month.
2.4%. Because the agents, a listing agent, they get more invested as a listing agent, get pictures and that. But guess what? You gotta make sure your seller knows what you're doing. It's gotta be in your listing contract. So if you're charging 5%, it asks you what you're paying out, don't it? Now, some sellers might say, well, I want you to pay 2% out, you still do 2% yourself. Sure, I will. But if I got a house, I'm gonna knock somebody's socks off, I know it's really, really nice, and it's sell no matter what, I'm gonna do 2.5, and I tell my clients that. Now, if they don't sell within a certain amount of time, I'll get with them and I'll change it back.
Okay.
And I'll renegotiate and put it in what? In writing. Make sure the listing agreement shows that. If you got a listing agreement that says 5% commission paying out 3, don't pay 2.5% out, are you being legal? No. Let's say you have a listing for 5%,
Okay,
and on your listing it says you're paying 3% to the other agent,
right,
you're gonna have 3% MLS. You can't not put 3%, you have 3% on your contract.
right, okay.
Give it 2.5 on there, okay? Oh, some,
But if you're paying 3%, then that's okay.
yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
In other words, whatever your listing agreement says, you gotta pay out.
Okay,
If you have a 5% listing, and it asks you below that, how much you're paying out to the sub-agency?
2.5.
2.5 or 3, make sure that's correct.
okay, I got you.
Because you put 3% on, you're only paying 2.5% out.
Yeah, yeah.
The seller can come back and see you and say, hey,
Okay,
you're supposed to pay out that much money.
okay.
Okay. So, got commission. And of course, I'm gonna say 6%. There are some agents that are charging more commission.
Yeah.
Now, in a good market, you know, like I said, when homes are selling themselves, it's all about competition, all right? Competition. So, you can charge what you want to charge. But your best friend, you might say, hey, you know, I'm only gonna charge you 4% myself, 6% MLS. It's all negotiable. If you go below 3, I need to know that. Let me know what you're doing. I just wanna make sure I know So the firm, because who's the listing really belong with when it's a house? Company. And that's how I was talking with Chuck a while back. When you go out to see a listing, people ask what your sales are. Well, you feel like, oh, I'm new, they're gonna not want me, I'm sucky, I'm new. No. What you say is, by the way, at our company, the firm owns the listings, you got all our agents helping you sell your home. So basically, I'm just gather the information, I'm help market it, but you got our whole company who's number 4 available selling your home. Is that a nice way to answer that question?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, well, I only sold 2 houses or 1 house. It's not what you say, it's what?
How you say
I said,
By the way, you listen with our firm, not necessarily me. Our whole firm is listing your home. Our company owns the listing. Our company advertises all this information for us and for you, the technology. So no matter what age you go with, you get the same service. And not only that, we have training class. So I'm up to date on this stuff. We do the house out there for you. It's awesome, isn't it? Sell yourself, guys. Be confident. If confidence exudes, you'll get the listing. And if you're too confident and cocky, like some agents are, they're not gonna like it either. So you gotta find that right medium price line, okay? And look professional too, okay? I always see James about his shorts and shit all the time. When James was got into real estate, he was like this all the time. But now he's doing more like building stuff.
yeah.
But my dad used to always tell James, like, Bolt McKinney work, Okie too. Boys, y'all look funny for selling real estate today.
Yeah.
You gotta look the part, so make sure you look the part. Remember that? That was always good about that. Heard that.
that?
Okay, so we got our commission in there. We got attorney fees. I was, for the seller portion, I would do about 400. What do y'all put? It's all based on who you use. On the seller portion for attorney fees, I would put about $300.
See, and I don't do that, because the closing costs, if they're gonna pay for the
That's
buyer.
not true, because that's seller fees. That's the buyer's closing expenses.
I know.
You still got the sellers. I put 400. You always better have a buffer. You need it. 'Cause You're gonna charge the seller for the deed, so the things on there.
I put
Yeah.
750 for some of them.
It's all what you feel comfortable with. I put 4 and I've been pretty good, but get your attorney, find out what those are. Who you use. Ask the attorney. Closing costs. Are closing costs fixed or negotiable? Does your seller have to pay closing costs?
No.
Okay, you're at the table, listing your house. When you do the listing agreement with them and net proceeds, are you gonna tell them about closing costs of the listing of the contract, of the listing contract? Yes, you are. You're gonna tell them, we're gonna do one last role play for the last part of our session, is you're gonna tell them, in our market, it's traditional and customary for the seller to pay closing costs. But guess what? It's like paying it forward. Whenever they sell the house, they're gonna pay for this guy too. Because most military, when they're moving, PCS have a limited income, fixed money. It costs, you lose money moving, am I right? That's why the government gives you money back a lot of times, or gives you that money to move. Now, I tell them closing costs in our market on average, you really can't use a percentage on a small home, it don't work. So I was on a small home, $100,000 house, about what, 4,500, would you say? For escrow and prepays and taxes. And when you talk about closing costs, make sure you include the total closing cost. Because in most markets, closing costs are only the bank fees. It's not the prepays, it's a different terminology. It's all about what you say. Prepays are what? Tax and insurance. Closing costs are what? The bank fees. So make sure you have your total closing costs figured in, because if you tell your client we're going to pay your closing costs, they get there and also they got to pay the tax and insurance. Did you pay all the closing costs in their mind?
Yeah.
No, I'm paying my insurance. So make sure that mortgage company gives you the estimated cost to close a loan, figure in your prepays and your closing costs. Okay? Now, are closing costs every bank different?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some makes it more expensive. Over time, you'll learn what's more expensive. Some charge origination fees, some don't. Some charge a commitment fee. Processing fee. Different names or different fees they can charge. So make sure when you get that net proceeds are done, that you, based on what you think you're going to probably, limit you're probably be working with. So a house for $100,000, I say figure $4,500, okay? Now, if you have a big expensive house, you probably figure 2%, couldn't you? Or 2.5% based on the price of the house.
One thing, especially if you haven't done it for a while, you got a mortgage person that you're really comfortable with. Say, hey, I've got a scenario here, I'm getting ready to list this house. What would be a good quote that I can give them for a closing cost based on closing on this time?
And make sure you figure in prepays. Again, all y'all got different relationships with different lenders. I want you to use who you feel good with. Because ultimately, like the book I read, it all comes down to what? You. Because that client has good service, they're going to like you. If they have bad service, they're not going to like you. So make sure the lender is going to give you good service and have the issues at the last minute. So give the lender that you normally use and ask them, hey, what's the closing cost going to be on this house, like Oki said, and use that as your figure. But make sure you figure in all the prepays and also the insurance premium.
Most lenders gonna give you a worst case scenario, what's they're used to.
For escrows.
They usually high-sided a bit, just to cover.
Home warranty. Make sure at the listening presentation you talk about the home warranty. Now, home warranties on average between what, $470 and $600 a month per year. And most homeowners, and I would tell folks, look, well, why am I giving them a home warranty?
Because it gives you an edge. What do you mean, an edge, Mr. Dowdy? Well, if you list your house with home warranty, we're gonna put on the sign home warranty. When folks drive by an older home and see that, it makes them feel more secure buying your home. They know the house with the warranty. It gives you an equal edge with the new construction. Especially in an area where a lot of new construction being built in your older homes. Some agents try to be slick and say, well, I didn't know it needed a warranty. Well, they see your sign yard that has a warranty on it. It makes them feel better about buying an existing property. And I never say you, say existing. It's the different terminology. And you sounds like what, bad, old.
Yeah.
Existing sounds great, you know. Man, existing girlfriend. Hey! One's been used, one's been abused. All that. Hey! That's me, a little joke here. But yes, ma'am.
Also, Jay, on that same subject, when you're talking to your seller, you can let them know that you can put the home warranty while they're selling the property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you do it at the listing and they say yes, go ahead and activate it then. They get free coverage
Yeah,
for the time you're
absolutely.
listing the property. Now, does it cover any pre-existing condition?
No.
So make sure it's working when you put it in there. You gotta have a good heart and mind and soul in that. So when you do your listing agreement, you go in the house and it's 80 degrees, at 90 degrees outside, it's hot as hell in the house, you're sweating.
Yeah.
Is AC working? You know, I give it a home warranty on it's working already, you know. Well, yeah, it's working. I've got to turn it off, trying to save some money. But there's certain things you look at as your red flags when you walk in the house. Okay? But home warranty, we'll put you at, I'm gonna put $550, okay?
Okay.
So
You
yeah.
don't put anything for express fees for,
That's what I'm coming up. And that's $400 for the seller side.
okay, so.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah,
it's
'cause
all
I-
three at $400.
Okay.
Mhm. I try to keep it simple. 'Cause
Yeah.
most folks, like I said, it's like closing costs. When you talk about closing costs on a sale, if you tell somebody you're paying the buyer's homeowner's insurance, or you're paying for the taxes, they're like, hell no, I ain't paying that. But if you say you're gonna pay a flat dollar amount as a credit, they don't know where it goes and they don't care, do they?
Right.
George Armstrong's worse for that. Good Lord Jesus. So what happens is, for example, if somebody says, I'm gonna pay $5,000 towards the closing costs, does it really matter where it goes?
No.
But you got some sellers who it does. That's why a lot of times your attorney has to manage the numbers, is add all the closing costs on the buyer side, give a credit on the seller side. It's so much simpler. So much simpler. Buyer, understand where I'm coming from?
Mhm.
Okay. We've all been there. It's happened to us. All right. It always happens the day of closing when you're in there. It's embarrassing. HOA dues. Are you in an HOA subdivision? If you are, guess what? A lot of HOAs now have what? Transfer fees. And they can be expensive. Some are $130, some are $200, some are $70. And you also got what? Do proration of the HOA fees. So like Gates 4, it's like $920, $940 a year. So if you're closing it in 6 months, that seller wants their money back. They already paid for the whole year, didn't they?
Yep.
So you gotta make sure you figure that in as an expense on your buyer. Okay? And also the transfer fee. Most of the contracts now say the transfer fee be paid for by the seller, but some say buyer. It's all what you put in the offer to purchase. Now, when I went to a couple meetings a while back at the state, they were talking about making the transfer fee paid by the seller. Why? They have more control over what that fee is, don't they? If you're a seller and your HOA charges an exuberant amount of money for a transfer fee, you're gonna fight, aren't you? But if you don't care and it's being paid by the buyer, they don't care what it is. If charge $5, I don't care, it's not my pocket. So I think it's very smart what the state's doing, trying to put that transfer fee on the seller. Because they have more control over what HOA does when they vote. Question?
No.
Okay. All right, so we got HOA dues. We're gonna say it's like 300, it's estimated. Proration of taxes. How you do that, guys? How you prorate taxes? Take the tax bill, divide by 12, right? And then how you, when you're closing, let's say it's $300. Repairs from home inspection. Now, this is an area you can go into. You can tell the folks, look, everybody, the hard part about me selling your home is going to be not just selling it, but also having to deal with the appraisal and home inspection. I can't control those two hurdles. Those are two hurdles when we get a contract we have to look over, okay? The appraisal, I've done a market analysis, I feel good about it. If it comes in low, we can always fight it with my comps. However, if one of your neighbors sells their home between now and then for a lesser price, it can change your evaluation. But I'm going to set you up on a seller advantage program for my company, Berkshire Hathaway, where I'm going to send you once a month every home that's sold in your neighborhood as it happens. They don't like that? It's also giving you what? FaceTime. The biggest complaint I get as a homeowner, and I get it as an agent sometimes, is I ain't talked to you in 2 weeks. You don't love me. You list my house and forgot about me. What do you want to do? Send over once a week on your seller thing. What are they going to do? They're going to get something from you. Like, and even though you call them, you're in their mind, aren't they? Remember I told everybody at all the office meetings, call your what? Every seller on what? Friday. And call your buyers on what?
Monday.
Yeah, they're right. Keep up with them guys. Okay? And again, if you only got 4 listings, how hard is that to do, honestly? But by doing that, you keep it first in mind. You're also using the technology to communicate with them. Use that technology. So, we got revenue stamps. The computer does that for you automatically, which is nice. Surveyed, they get a survey or not. Now, when you go back into the situation here, again, the survey, we don't normally do this, it's not a requirement no more. They're trying to make it a requirement again, the legislation's looking at that again, there's been a lot of problems. Going back to the home inspections and repairs, what I always do is put in here on home repairs, I said, guys, when they get a home inspection, always gonna be something pops up, they have to. The home inspection, I call it witch hunting, they gotta find something to justify that they're charging this money. A lot of times, I think most of them say the same thing. If I take 2 home inspections, they're gonna all say the same thing. All gonna say what? Have heat and air unit checked by qualified heat and air unit person.
Right.
They all say that, do they not?
Yeah.
They're all gonna say what? They're also gonna say, replacing wood decayed file on the outside, which you should have looked at when you listed the property. And they're always in the same place, windows, bottom of the garage doors, back doors of the garage. And they're also all gonna say, typically, there's one more thing else. What's that?
Have a licensed plumber to evaluate something.
Or
licensed roofer.
electrician.
Oh, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
But I think the typical thing I always see on there, unknown substance under home in the crawl space.
Oh.
And it's mildew.
Yeah.
But to them, but as an inspector, they can't say what it is, right?
Right.
But when they say unknown substance, have it checked by a qualified person, what does that do to the buyer? It scares them. It scares them. Every crawl space is gonna have a little bit of mildew. If you leave a towel wet in the corner of a room, what's it gonna do in 3-4 days? It's gonna mildew. Your crawl space has moisture, guys. It does by nature. It's underground. Basements have moisture, am I correct? So what happens is you gotta make sure that your buyers understand that, hey, look, if you got a home inspection back, they're gonna ask for this. If something comes back on there, we can ask them to have it checked out. But most likely, all inspections are born upon the what? Buyer. You read your contract, all inspections, if you didn't ask, you can always ask for it in negotiation under diligence. But the contract states that buyer must pay for all inspections. So if you want to have it checked even further, it's going to be based on the buyer. But a lot of times, when the seller is hurting the seller home, they're going to do it, right?
Right.
But the market gets better, what the seller going to say? Get your own inspection. I got 2 more buyers in line. So understand that things are changing, get multiple offers. Yes, sir.
Quick question, how you shut that down in a listing? Because you know, the first thing everybody gonna say, you know, is we got, that's mold. You know, when we had those classes with the,
Yeah. Here's how I handle that. I'll tell you how. Well, I say, well, first of all, only a mold person supposed can tell if it's mold or not. So if you want to have it checked out, I got a guy out of Clinton, North Carolina, Sampson County, that's a mold specialist. He charges about $80 or $90 to come out and look at it and do a mold inspection report, let you know what kind of mold you have, and also give you cost for remediation, meaning getting rid of it, things to get rid of it. If it's nothing, he'll say it's nothing. And 90% of the time, it's nothing. He'll say it's just normal mold. There's a chemical called Tambor, T-A-M-B-O-R. They can spray and kill it. And again, by having that inspection, that way you've done, protect yourself, protect the buyer. If they got kids with asthma, you really want to have it done. And I'll give you his name. He's the best in town. He's not a witch hunter. Most of these guys that have the big commercials, they're going to tell you have it no matter what. They want to make a lot of money. Typically for pools, 7,000 to 9,000 is pretty average based on what type of pool, neighborhood. Decks, 1,200, 1,400. Covered patios, about 2,500. Those are the normal type valuations that you're going to get.
Is that something we could do here in the office? Just
I can I'll send you one.
even if it's an average of certain
Yeah, we can do
typical
that. I would
things,
love that
there's
for you
always
guys.
gonna be things out there that
Simple.
we're not gonna know,
We
you
can
know,
do that for you. No
having
problem
it.
at all.
Yeah, I just think that'd be helpful for new agents as
Yeah,
well.
but
What about fence?
Fence, okay, if one house has a fence and one don't, I'm normally for a fence, if it's a privacy fence, I do 2,500. What do you do, Eddie? 2,500 also for a privacy fence? Chain link about 1,500.
Sometimes if they connect, so you remove
It
that.
don't matter, as long as the whole yard's completely fenced in,
Okay.
and full amount of value.
Okay.
The appraisers don't go out there and find out who was what part of the fence. But I would say privacy fence about 2,500, chain link about 1,800 typically.
Yeah.
And you know a privacy fence costs you $10 per square foot to put up in wood, and $30 per put up for vinyl. Vinyl fences are very expensive.
They
So
are.
it doesn't matter if it's vinyl,
What's that, sir?
How much is a square foot for?
Vinyl? Wood's about $10, $11. $10 to $11 per foot. And then the vinyl fence is around $30 per foot. Eddie, got something to say, sir?
That's very important when you're on the listing appointment to explain to the seller that you do not get dollar for dollar value
Yeah.
for things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta take the appreciated value, because that fence fell down, got taken down. Remember, the bank's looking at what, long term? That fence might not be done in 10 years. It might be it might be dilapidated by that time, so you can't get the value for it. It's like that rose garden, might be dead roses by the time you sell it in the future.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
What about, detached, storage
Garages?
sheds
Oh, perfect.
with
Good question.
concrete,
Let's
wired, all
Let's
that?
pretend we have a workshop on this. Okay. Go back. All right, on the same one we have here. Let's pretend this one person had a nice workshop in their backyard. Did I say the word workshop or did I say shed? There's a difference, there's a difference between a workshop and a shed.
Absolutely.
Okay. A shed doesn't have what, power probably,
Right.
it's not built to the same equivalent standard. Now, I have seen some nice sheds built before by these guys.
Yeah.
And, but I'm gonna tell you, if it has power running to it, it's considered a workshop. It has lights and power for a workshop, okay? And you'll get more value for that, okay? So for a workshop, let's say you have a 12 by 15 workshop. A 12 by 15 workshop is a pretty good sized workshop. It's got windows, it's got electricity, it's done the right way on a concrete foundation.
Concrete.
Why? It's gotta be a permanent foundation. If it has a wooden floor, that's not permanent, is it? You go out and buy these sheds from Walmart and Lowe's, and why is it not important? I see your face going, I'll tell you why. It can be moved, can't it?
Right.
Somebody can sell that bad boy. So if a bank's doing a loan on that house, and the guy buys it and he says, I don't want that shed back here, I'm gonna sell it. Somebody comes with a big old truck, picks it up, moves it out. That value's still there for that property? But if it has a concrete foundation, it's not gonna go nowhere, is it?
Nope.
So that's why the banks do not give you as much money for it has a permanent foundation. That's why I said, permanent foundation, power and water. For a workshop, 12 by 15, you probably get about what, 5, 6 grand, Teddy, you thinking? Now, if you have a big double garage, like a 24 by 24 garage, you might get about 10, 12,000 for a 10 by 24 garage in the backyard. You know, I know it costs more to do that, but here's the thing, is it customary and normal for that subdivision? No.
Yep.
It's a value feature, but you're not getting the full value out of it.
Right.
It costs about 25,000 to build a nice 24 by 24 garage in your
Yeah.
backyard, you know?
So
But-
it doesn't have a slab foundation,
Mhm.
how much?
A shed, you might get
No,
500 bucks.
But
for
it
it.
has a power on.
Well, you might give me 500 bucks for a shed, like that,
Yeah.
figure consider a shed, 500 bucks.
Even
That's
if
it.
it has wires and windows.
Because why? It's removable, Paula. It's removable. It can be taken away. It can be picked up and moved and sold. Yes, ma'am.
How about well for irrigation?
1,200 bucks.
$12?
If you have a well with irrigation, $1,200. Yeah. Yes, sir. If it's not normal standard for the neighborhood. If everybody has one.
No,
you
if they
can-
don't have
If
it.
you're the one that has one, that's 1,200 bucks easy. Yes, sir.
What were you saying about the shed when you know, like, I heard you say something about the workshop, and then you said 25,000 for a real
Oh,
nice
okay.
one.
Let's say you have a 24 by 24 garage. You see, we have a double car garage in your backyard. It costs about 25 grand to build.
Right.
You probably get maybe 10 to 12 max on the appraisal or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, max.
When is it good to do that type of garage in the neighborhood, you know, if they had them?
Most folks build it at once. They have a hobby. Most folks that build one, they have a reason for it. They have a hobby, they got antique cars, or they want a place to put a band, I don't know how to band one. But the whole thing, like I said, is that when you do the evaluations, make sure that the quality of built, permanent foundation, because if it's not permanent, you're not getting value for it, it's gonna be taken away. Okay?
But you said you would send us a list of the things.
Yeah, I will.
try to
I'll be
use
more than
just for
happy to
the
do this.
in-office.
If you don't get it by tomorrow, remind me, okay?
Yeah,
All right.
I went.
So workshop, so we have a wire workshop on a concrete foundation, 12 by 12. I'm gonna give about probably, what? See, 12 by 12, permanent foundation, about 3,500, 4,000, what do you think?
Yeah.
For a workshop? And again, that's gonna be an appraiser's opinion. Every appraiser's different, right?
Right.
But that, I think if you go with that amount, you're gonna be fine. So we have a shed, they don't. So.
I think Dean charged us like $350 to build ours.
Did he?
She said,
Yeah, I think that was a 12 by 12, I think.
On brick foundation?
Yeah?
So we have a nice shed in our backyard, they don't, workshop, so, well, here we go. Now we're about 222, 500, okay, we up a little bit. So anyways, that's how you do a market analysis, and then I print this out, like I said, put a nice cover sheet and everything on there. Now, now, we're gonna get to other things. Let's talk about what happens in the real world. We give them our market analysis, and they're feeling that their house is worth more. What can you do? You sit down with them again and show them the comparable for the subdivision, and explain to them, because again, it's gonna happen, the real world's gonna happen, and say, well, here's what's going on. Let me do this for you. I got one more tool for you. And you call me before you go to this, if you have a rough one, I'm gonna show you what I do. I'm gonna show you, for example, you can go on here, put Gates 4. Let's have one done 2 days ago. Gates 4 per square foot. You're doing a May 18th, there you go. And I'll email all the ones I got done currently for you, so you'll see these. This is that shit I told you about. Okay, here you go. It's a nice spreadsheet, and it shows you every close for the last 12 months, listing price, sold price, days on market, square footage, and price per square foot for that whole school district. Isn't that cool?
Cool.
These are
So,
sub district now, right?
Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
And I did one, yes ma'am.
I guess Steve.
Okay,
I
yeah.
got her.
So anything you need, you can do what? They can look at this and you give this to them. They can actually see everything on there, drive through the neighborhood at night with it by themselves and see what's sold in that neighborhood and price per square foot. And because again, most of your value, 9% of your valuation on a market analysis appraisal comes from what? Square footage, guys. That's why it's very important to have the correct measurements on the house. Don't rely on iRealist. I used to say rely on the appraisal, but appraisal make mistake too. So that's why Okie makes y'all measure your houses, because it can be a difference in the appraised value and the, and it does happen. James told it happened to him, ever happened to anybody else where appraised value is different than the actual house? Yeah, what happened for him? So always measure your house, it's very important. Yes, sir.
It can be within,
Well, 10 square feet, depends on the square foot. If you have a house that's 3,000 square feet and you're off 100 square feet, that's pretty normal. So everybody's gonna measure differently. Some appraisers, when it comes to measuring your rooms, say you have a bonus room, and you got the ceiling like this to the wall. If it's like a lower one, like 3 foot, they're gonna go shoulder height for your measurement. The shoulder height is where they're gonna take your measurements for the square footage, if you have a good appraiser. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the roof is not like this in bonus room. Shoulder height's where they take their width times length for the actual square footage. That's why most builders build a bonus room that has shoulder height. They know that, so they won't get the full value. But a lot of the older homes were built back in the day, had a lot lower, they were trying to get more, they tried to do is get more space in the room they're trying to do. But by doing that, they didn't realize they were hurting themselves. You get in the space, you're not getting the valuation out of it. Okay?
Jay,
Yes, ma'am.
just one other quick question. Do they give more additional value for metal roofs?
No. A
No,
roof's a roof.
same.
Let me tell you guys, that's
30-year
that's a good
shingles,
question.
20 years,
A
all the
roof's a
same?
roof. And now, if it's a
Okay.
new roof versus an older roof, yes.
Okay,
But a roof's a roof. That's why a lot of
Gotcha.
us go out and buy these expensive roofs, and we're in a VA loan market, guys. So we're not. VA says, look, we want to get a good home with what he needs to live. Now, if you were in Charlotte, Raleigh, they give you valuations for different type of things like that, right?
Sure.
But here, what's customary?
right.
customary.
Customary North Street market.
So same with like if they've updated and got a brand new HVAC in or anything, I
Well,
would give,
here's the thing. It goes back to the effective age.
yes.
Now, that's what I said earlier. If you got new roof, new AC, effective age of the house, you need your
Gotcha.
valuation for it.
Okay.
Oh,
Question?
windows too.
Same thing, it's effective age. So we got certain things that new is new. Again, like I said, make sure your comps don't have that, but if you do, that's the effective age.
Gotcha.
We no longer have a 2005 house, we have a 2010 house, so we have value our effective age.
Absolutely.
I want to equip right, so I'll get a scuba snack in the water, and we'll finish up on the last part of it, okay? You having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah! Thousands of dollars for that treatment, where this guy, he actually teaches the class for the state. He also has a termite company, so if you're smart, you'll have him do your termite inspection and the mold at the same time. And then
Oh, yeah.
so you already got it covered. And I'll give you his number, he's the best in town, his name is Joe Carlisle. Joe, good guy. Joe Carlisle.
Thank you.
And it's, the name of his company is,
Is that equal?
no, I'm gonna say it.
is the
Eastover Mold and Pest Control. Yep, that's it. Eastover Mold and Pest Control. Yep. Eastover Mold and Pest Control. So we're going through adding our fees in here for our net proceeds, and we've got they got to do a survey, appraisal. That's going to be part of the main closing cost. Let's see here, pest inspection. Now on a VA loan, can the buyer pay a pest inspection?
No.
No. So you got to add it in there separate, correct? Even not being your normal closing cost figures. Now, well inspection. Can the veteran pay a well water inspection? Nope, not per contract, not per VA guidelines. So if you have a well or a septic refrigerator in there, how much does that cost for a well inspection? If you do the sample yourself, about $85. You pay them about $150.
Right.
Only time does it is microbac. Microbac on Old Mills Road. And they'll do the sample for you, pay them, or you can bring a bottle, take it back and test it and take it back in. Whatever fits your client's needs or your needs. I've done it for my clients before, I've had clients do it themselves.
Yeah.
Whatever fits you and your client's relationship. Okay? So that's called microbac on Hope Mills Road.
You get the water inside the well.
Now, septic inspections are running about $350 for a pump and inspection. It can't be more than that, okay? So someone comes out there, they're all related. The Beltons, the Carters are all big families, they're all separated and have their own little
Yeah.
septic companies going on. They're the most convenient ones in town.
DC
DC Carter, Belton's, all related. So they're gonna charge about $350 for a septic and tank inspection and pumping it, okay?
Yeah.
So if you have a septic pump, put it on there, because you know what's gonna be
Yeah.
happening. You can take it on
Yeah.
the VA loan especially. If you're on city sewer, do you need one? No. If you're on city water, do you need one? No. But if you're on a well, or if you have a septic tank, you have to have a inspection on VA loan, put it in your figures. That's proceeds.
And answer to you best though, they will tell you when you go to Microbac, if you're doing this, getting the sample, how to do it, and exactly what you need to do and where you get it from. They're gonna tell you that whole thing.
So I can tell the sample.
Yeah.
Because I'm not.
So right now, when this guy sells his house for $100,000,
I have never seen.
his net is how much? $55,345. Okay, that's minus all his expenses to include his payoffs. Thank you, honey. You want to sit closer?
Huh? No, I've got like 2 offers I
Get on
got.
here. Get on. You're good. You're good. We're happy. High five you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Get it, girl. Yeah. All right. So he's making some money. But now let's say this is what you did when you did the listing, right? Presentation. Now you got an offer on his house. Now you can fine tune it, right? You got a home inspection back with repairs. Where does that go on there? You go under several areas. You type it in down here under other, or go up here where it says home inspection repairs, which is right. Here's home inspection right here. And let's say we got estimates back that cost $2,500. Well, now his net proceeds is going to be what? $52,845. And now when I do a listing agreement with somebody, when I go out there with a listing agreement to have them sign it, or even DocuSign, I have that with the listing agreement. You want to alleviate problems in your life? Give them a net proceeds when they list the house. That way they already know the worst case scenario, and they sign it. Okay? And it's not telling them, it's called an estimate. It don't say you're gonna make this, it says estimate.
I
Okay?
always highlight
It
estimate.
can change. It can change based on what? Several factors. Appraisal comes in low, repairs negotiated, and then when I get an offer, I do a new one based on what the actual offer has. So like if I get an offer comes in, before I call my owner, I got an offer, I do a net proceeds with it, and submit that with the offer purchase. Because most folks, they get aren't knowledgeable of the contract. It's all like, what does this mean? It means this. They want to see the bottom line. What do most salesmen worry about?
Bottom line.
How much in their pocket, right?
Yeah.
How much money in their pocket when they're said and done. So by doing that, you've narrowed it down. 9% of the time, I don't even see the contract, but how much I'm making. But give them important dates. Due diligence date, closing date, things like that. Okay? And what type of loan. And if you get an offer, a cash offer, and you want to see they got the cash in hand, you want to see a statement, right? You want something to prove it. Because if you get an offer and tell them paying cash, you know if they got the cash to pay it. And I know it's hard sometimes to ask that question to another agent. By the way, to pay cash, can I get some kind of bank statement? We don't mind you, but get something from the bank or a bank statement showing they have the funds to pay for that house. A lot of times, well, I don't send our bank statement because we got more than the price of the house. We'll just get a letter from the bank then stating they had the funds, enough funds to pay for it. You're protecting who? You and your what? Seller. You work for them. You have a right to ask that question, like a pre-qualification letter. Again, when you get an offer to purchase on your listing and it's got a pre-qualification letter, we all know different banks in town do different jobs, do better jobs, like agents, right? So make sure that if you get that listed, that pre-approval letter, call that mortgage company and find out, hey, I see you got an offer from them for your client, they look good. Did you already, and ask the important question, did you already pull the full credit? Did you get their tax returns yet? Did you get a copy of their pay stubs yet? Because anybody can go online or call a bank and say, I make $20,000 a month. I have $5,000 in bills. Well, you qualify, great, here's a letter. That letter is so vague, you read it. It says, preliminary information gathered from the buyer. But if you ask that question, important question to that person, you put them on the spot. And you're gonna make sure that you tell that seller, Mr. Seller, got an offer on your home, I talked to the lender personally, they already got the credit check back, they look good in credit, they got the income check back, only need to close the appraisal. Got it? Okay, try to make your life easy. All right. Any questions? Any questions so far? What are some things that I can help you out with? And what are some questions you have when it comes to listings that I can probably help you guide you through? Anybody have any questions? Did I answer most of them today? Okay. Yes.
When you do that calculation, do you put in the first column the real number that you think you're gonna?
Oh yeah, well, my whole thing is this. I'm not gonna bullshit. When I go to my listing appointment, I'm gonna tell them I think the house is gonna appraise for, what they're gonna make. And I tell them, look, I don't overinflate my houses. I can show you, because I already showed them the stats, what's happening in the neighborhood. If I list my house at market value, we can probably sell at market value. You look at all of our sales in this office, we almost sell 100% value of our company.
Because I have some sellers, they said, oh no, I think we can go a little bit higher.
Well, you can.
And then I put in the.
Well, you can do that. Well, you can do that, but I always make sure in my listing agreement I put in there, so it's been advised at the market value of what I have. But yeah, you can do that. You can say, hey, look, by the way, if you want to go higher on it, you can do it, Paul. You can come in and say, well, you know what, we're gonna list for 100,000, but if you want to, let's pretend we sold for 105. And the other stuff don't change, does it? It stays the same. So you go in there and we put outside back in there again, 25,000. And that way, yeah, when you give it to them, they got the medicine. And I've done it before too. Especially if I know that I might get a low offer. I know they went high on purpose, they will go higher. I will definitely do this for them. That way, I always say, look, if I bring you an offer, you already got the numbers in front of you. You know?
So you're doing two on the same page?
Yeah, on the same page. Just
Oh, yeah,
I
I
even
do
do
three.
three. I
I do
do three.
three.
I even have worst case scenario.
Yeah, you can do. I always do lower ones instead of higher ones.
Yes,
normally.
exactly.
Well, we're gonna mark 100. If you offer for 95, it's gonna be this much in your
Yes,
pocket.
that's
So
it.
they know that.
That's
Yeah,
what I
what
do
you're
too.
doing, you're setting up the expectations
Yes.
so that you always exceed your expectations. Okay?
So the first one is the actual one, that they wanna.
I go down lower normally.
Yes.
Or if they want to go higher, I'll do them higher for them.
Uh-huh.
No, typically it's always lower.
Yeah.
I do lower.
You do highlight
If
this.
I need it for the first time, I'll go lower on it. This is your market value, but the market changes here. Boom, boom, boom. You offer for full value here, go for 95,000 here, 90 here.
Oh, okay, so you just give them like.
All
Yes.
options. So they can look at that. I
Okay.
mean, it might, and it's based on how fast you want to sell your house. You want to sell your, this is full market value.
Yeah.
Full market value taking about 8 days to sell your house. You go lower by so quicker, but you don't make as much money. They might say, you know what, go to the lower amount, I'm happy with that, we'll get it on. Yes, ma'am.
So when they wanna go higher, and you say, okay, I'll go higher, but if we don't show them in 2,
You can
3
put, whatever
weeks.
you're the professional. You can go with your own
Right,
agreement.
yeah.
2,
We
3 weeks
we
will drop.
reevaluate in 30 days with
Yes.
homeowners drop the price.
Yes.
Right. Put it in writing in your
Yeah.
agreement.
Right.
It ain't gonna do it, it helps you out, it gives you a basis, it really does. All right, my next class I wanna do is gonna be on, role playing, we're gonna do real estate 101, and what we're gonna do is have all y'all here, and I'm gonna be the agent, okay?
Oh, boy.
And we're gonna do that next week. It's 11 o'clock here, did y'all learn something today?
Yeah.
Okay. You feeling confident? That's the thing, guys, confident. What?
After Memorial Day?
Yes.
Okay.
Love y'all, have a good day, thank you.
Thank you, Jim.